What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. For those that don't know, my name is Alina Smith. I'm a writer and producer for projects like ITZY, Red Velvet, Produce 101, Classy, Sun Me, and many others. And on this channel, we discuss all things music production and songwriting. So if you're not subscribed yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. All right, guys, so today I'm going to be doing a production walkthrough of a song I recently produced. It is very much in the style of Dua Lipa, I want to say. I would say it's modern pop with some throwback elements of disco. Basically, it's new disco. This is a song by a really wonderful artist whose name is Sonez. You guys should definitely check it out. I'm gonna put a link for it down below. But without further ado, let's just jump straight into going over this production. Alright guys, here we are in the session. I'm going to play a little bit of the chorus and then we will just go over this production style and I will explain how I did this and how you guys can create a similar sound.
You got me thinking, I don't know, 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 I don't know what to do between me and you. I don't know, 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 I don't know what to do between me and you. You got me waiting.
Alright, so the first thing you need to know about new disco is that it's very reliant on bass. So your bass part is going to be really, really important. I will play you this. I've already bounced this down, unfortunately, but I remember exactly how I made this. So this is Trillion. For those that don't know, it's a really good plugin for like faking live bass. Obviously, nothing's better than actually getting a bass player, but if you're in a pinch, if you can't, actually, this has been featured on a lot of big records, so it's perfectly fine. So yeah, this is our bass part. You know, it's really funky, definitely syncopated, a lot of rhythm. So that's something you have to keep in mind. It sidechains to the kick. That way it doesn't have a very harsh attack, but the kick does. So together they sound pretty cohesive. It creates a nice groove. So knowing this thing about the bass that is really crucial and that the whole track is pretty much built around it. The whole concept of this track is just knowing when the bass is in and when it's featured and when it's pulled out. So for example, in the intro, the bass isn't there. And the whole point is that it contrasts nicely with the verse when it does come in.
You got me waiting all night all alone.
So yeah, and the main elements in this intro are basically these Jupiter chords. I played this using Jupiter 8 from Roland Cloud. I printed this down because I was trying to save CPU, but I wager to say that I have like something like Pumper, One Up Pumper on it. I use that a lot. If you guys know this channel, you know I do. It's a great, very cheap plugin that you can pick up from Waves. But yeah, the main meat of it just comes from the plugin from Jupiter 8. We've got a nice little effects build right here into the verse. So yeah, and then it just gets into the verse pretty much right after that.
You got me waiting all night all alone. What am I waiting on you? I don't know. It feels like yesterday you were into me. Maybe I just read it all wrong. Don't act like myself with you. I become somebody else. Not sure in a good way. Can't really say. Maybe it's too early to tell.
So yeah, a lot of this type of music is going to really feature the vocalist, so you don't want to instrumentally get in their way. So yeah, I continue, these chords are here from the intro, definitely the bass, which we already kind of went over. And then there's just pretty much percussion and not a whole lot of anything else going on. We've got this little percussion here. You know, very important to think about the groove before you pick out your top loops, right? When I was producing this, I knew that I wanted to emphasize the third hit, da-da-da-da-da-da-da, right? So that's specifically what I was looking for, as opposed to just like blindly browsing. I've got a few additional percussive moments here like this. Lots of fun, you know, just again, some percussion samples that I've found and cut up. And of course, I've got a snare going on here. I think it's a clap, but I'm not sure. Yeah, it's a stack of claps. Oh yeah, and I emphasize the fourth one by adding this kind of verb type of clap. I do this quite a bit. And if you listen to a lot of Ian Kirkpatrick's Dua's producers production, there's a lot of these like small moments wrapped in there, and like this clap fill, for example. Yeah, it's very much like those vibes. You also have to remember new disco, anything disco related, it's supposed to be fun. Claps, bright sounding percussions, all those things really make sense for that.
Where are you now? I can't think of anyone but you. One night it took for me to doubt what I thought I knew. You got me thinking.
So the whole point of this part, remember when I mentioned, you got to pull the bass in and put it back, pull it out, put it back in, that kind of thing. This is exactly what this is doing. I've got a bass part. I've got this whole note, drony kind of bass, this big 808 and like a pumping, like crunchy drone on top of it. But this part right here drops out so it can come back in the chorus. So that's kind of how, like the thinking behind how it's constructed, you know what I mean? So, and even percussion wise, like you can just see by the drum package, none of the things that are happening in the verse and the chorus are happening here. Instead, I've got this specific pre-chorus clap. And I've got some new chords coming in. Most of this is Jupiter 8 and Diva from my memory, just because those synths specifically have like an 80s feel, so it makes sense for this type of genre. And one thing I have to mention is that the vocal production is very simple in the verse, it's mostly just the lead, but it does start to build in this pre-chorus. We're adding some doubles right here, which you can hear if I solo them.
Where are you now?
And those have spaced out, which is one of my favorite reverbs, adding that wet sound, because the whole pre-chorus is very spacey. So it makes sense to add some more reverb to the vocals in this spot. And to add to that kind of legato, flowy feeling, we even have this pitched up vocal right here. Now let's take a look at the chorus.
You got me thinking, I don't know, 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 I don't know what to do between me and you.
So there's actually quite a few things coming in. I'm just going to go from the bottom up in no order of priority. So we've got like a nice white noise crash downlifter going on. Got a hey. Got another kind of yell vocal. Those are always great for anything upbeat and up-tempo. Just supposed to add the fun. So we've got a funk guitar right here. I'm not really an electric player. My acoustic playing is like way better than my electric playing. So for electrics, I usually have like my friends play, or I just use samples. This is just a sample I used. I wanted it to hang on the same note pretty much the whole time. So that worked out. So I've got a few strings deliberately placed. Like this is just a stack of 3 horns and strings actually. Just to kind of fill out this moment, make it feel big when the chorus first hits. Yeah, I even have this little da-da-da, like little horn moment that also is just meant to emphasize certain moments. Nothing is too aggressive in here. They're just little tiny things that you notice if you like really pay attention. I'm adding a new synth, honestly, for the lower mids, because a lot of the stuff I had in the verse is very light. It was really letting the vocal shine, but I wanted it to hit a little bit heavier. So I specifically chose something that has those lower mids. So we're getting a lot of top loops in here, more so than the verse. Got a little hat top loop, tambourine top loop. Great. Honestly, anytime, anything in this genre, it's like it wants a tambourine. More cowbell, more tambourine. And a little bit of a shaker too. It's good. Yeah, we're bringing in a few more of these clap fills. Again, I just think it adds like a fun factor. It just fills out the kind of rhythmic section of the track quite nicely. And then we've got this little, I honestly don't even know what this is. I almost feel it's like a melodica, you know, one of those little keyboards you like blow into it and you play at the same time. I might be wrong about that. If somebody knows what this sample is, please let me know. But it was from like a new disco kit, and when I heard it, I was like, that fits so well right here, you know, and this kind of fills out the spot where she's not singing. And I'll definitely go over just the vocal production with you guys as well. We've got obviously the lead vocal, then we have low vocals, which is just her lead pitch down, you know, to an octave down, which is a great trick you can use, especially if it's too low for a singer to hit, like, and they physically can't hit that low a note, like you could just do this. Got some doubles and some even high octaves, because Sonia, she has a really great voice and a really large range, so this was really great to like tuck in her high octaves in here. So we're adding a little bit of a harmony on the second go around of the chorus. And this is a trick I use a lot. So this is our gang vocal. It's the two of us singing, you know, and I put a little bit of decapitator on it, a little bit of reverb. It's nothing crazy, but it's really tucked in there. And if you listen without the track, this is with the gang, and here's without. It's a lot thinner without it, so it's very like small and subtle, but it adds a lot. So yeah, after that, you know, this is a Western structure song. It's not K-pop or anything like what I do quite often. So it doesn't have big chord changes or big section changes. It's very similar as it advances. It just adds more vocal production. It adds like an airy pad, vocal pad here. So pretty. She has a really pretty voice. You know, and towards the end, it adds ad-libs like this. You know, what I showed you guys is like the meat and potatoes of this style. You know, keep the bass really funky, add a little bit of funk guitar in there, make sure your percussion is really fun, filling out all the spots where there's no vocals, and you should be good. All right, guys, and that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're not subscribed yet, definitely make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. And if you like this video, give it a like, as that really helps the channel and helps other producers and songwriters find it. All right, and on that note, I think I'm gonna go. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.